So Workinitiatives, what are we? We're a social enterprise. Workinitiatives has partnered with the Australian Computer Society, which is the peak body for the technology industry in Australia. And we're on a mission to solve the skills crisis in Australia. The skills crisis is not small, it's actually quite large. And what we're doing is we're bringing together people, jobs, skills and migration. We're actually working with industry in Australia, building out the jobs and skills platforms for industry. And we're just about to roll out over 100 location-based platforms and give them to the community to help the community better sell its value proposition, to be able to help youth to come in to different pathways from education into employment, to support individuals in the workforce to upskill, cross-skill, reskill, and of course, support international talent. So how big is the problem? The problem's not small, and to put it into perspective, we need over 400,000 people in aged care alone over the next 5 years to meet the requirements. We need over 100,000 people in construction. We need more than 42,000 people in electrotech, electricians, 35,000 plumbers, tens of thousands in automotive. And we'd like to think that we can actually build that domestically, but why can't we? Well, Australia's a lucky country. It's actually, the populace are actually quite wealthy. We've got 16% of our population meet the definition of a sophisticated investor. That means that they're sitting on $2.2 million worth of assets, or they're earning more than $250,000 a year. So we've got a considerable amount of people that don't necessarily need to work, they choose to work. And they're not necessarily choosing to work in the occupations that we require them to work within. In addition to that, this is the first time in Australia's history where the outgoing cohort of the Australian workforce is actually far greater than the incoming Australian workforce. So we simply don't make enough Australians. I've done my bit. I've got a 9-year-old and an 11-year-old, but they're standing next to useless at the moment. We can't send them down the mines. It's illegal now in Australia. But what can we do? Well, how do we solve the problem? Everything that we've done at this point in time has not worked. We're a country the size of Europe, and we practically have a skill shortage in every geographical location, every industry sector, and most occupations. So what's right for Cairns in the far north is not what's right for Tasmania. So we need to take a different approach, a dynamic approach to the way we address our skills shortage. And in reality, the only people that are going to be able to assist Australia meeting its skills crisis is people. And again, Australia will look to support Australians, young Australians into careers, people already looking for work, the upskill, the cross-skill, the reskill. Education has always been a big theme for Labor governments. We have a Labor government at the moment, and they've piled millions into our educational system. But we can't train our way out of a skills crisis. We need more people to come through. And we've been working to try and get more diverse talent or underrepresented talent groups to come through and work within various different sectors. When I was down in Chennai and I was meeting with the government, I was interested to find that out of all of the workforce, the Indian female workforce in Australia, 41% of that workforce comes from Tamil Nadu. And so we can actually learn a lot from what India is doing, what Tamil Nadu is doing, especially in those areas. But regardless of what we do in Australia, we still don't have enough people. So we've got to look at the international piece. And at the moment, we've got 2.2 million people in Australia with temporary work visas, and it's still not enough. Again, those numbers that I said earlier on, how are we going to meet them? Well, we're going to meet them by partnering with overseas organisations, training providers, governments, to actually work through and support overseas nationals to become skilled. So the problem's not going to get any easier. It's actually going to get more difficult. And what we need to look at is we need to look at those programs and have robust pathways in place where we can support talent from overseas into Australia. The other thing that I've been looking at with Southern India is I'm always in awe, because the education system here, it doesn't leave anyone behind. Everyone has the ability to access education, whether that's the most disadvantaged all the way through to the most privileged. When I was in Kerala, I got told that they've got 98.5% literacy rates. Amazing. Southern India holds the key to a lot of Australia's problems. And this is where other countries are investing in Southern India, and this is where Australia will do the same. It will do it through industry. It will do it through opportunity. The problem in Australia that we're solving is that it's a completely fragmented employment ecosystem where employers and individuals have a myriad of places to go to try and find the talent that they need, or with individuals, the opportunities for employment. And we've solved that. We're rolling out industry-based jobs and skills platforms, supporting industry with the capability they don't have. A lot of them don't have the vision or the strategy that's required. A lot of them don't have the technical expertise, and some of them can't even market their own value proposition to their own industry in Australia. And we're supporting them to do that. We're rolling out the community-based platforms as well to bring community together. So again, those lesser known areas of Australia have the ability to sell their value proposition so that you know what the place is like to live, to work, to study, to play, to migrate, to invest. And so we've created a complete ecosystem that is now interconnected with an agnostic technology where we collaborate with everyone and compete against no one. We bring together government, industry, employers, individuals. And now we're pushing out into the international space where Australian employers can post a local job vacancy either on their community platform or their industry platform, and it goes everywhere domestically. And if they can't find someone domestically, locally, they can pull individuals out that are job ready, that have been identified by our talent partners around the world. Government agencies, private organizations that are supporting their citizens and individuals to become skilled and access Australia through either skilled or upskilling pathways. We've partnered not just with one, but most of the peak bodies or associations that we call the collaborators and custodians of our technology to have greater impact, to have a greater voice, not just domestically, but also internationally, in how to change or solve the problem for the better. But not just a one-way street. This is where India can really benefit. When citizens go outside of the country, they have the opportunity to earn a greater level of salary, and they will send money back to the local communities here in India that is going to then support and build families' opportunities, both domestically and potentially internationally. And with the modelling we've done, for every 1,000 people that go to Australia, $18 million will go back into that local community every year. And as those local communities start to build, individuals that are actually earning more money overseas will actually start investing in those communities. I'm not Australian originally. I came from the UK. I went to Australia with nothing. I made money. First place I invested was Maidstone in Kent. It was my hometown. Because for me, I wanted to invest back where I came from. And that's common that you'll find as well. And this is the economic benefit that can be realized. And if we can look at programs, not just with the major cities, but look in regional areas where we can support individuals from regional areas to upskill in country come through to not just Australia, but other locations around the world and be able to send that economic benefit back to the regional areas of India, then we can really support those regional areas of India to get ahead. So I'm here for the next 3 days. So please don't be shy to come up to me and speak to me. We're looking for partners that are training providers or recruitment agencies or candidate sourcing organizations to be part of this solution. And I look forward to sharing the results next time we come back to JTN next year. Thank you.